Hey y'all, hey. Welcome back. Point of View with Joy and Q. Please like, subscribe, and share. We are talking about Ruthless real quick up in this piece. Now, Q, come on in. Come on in. My friend, my husband. What up? Let's talk about it. So you just dived into Ruthless. Yeah. Okay, so we back with the season 5, and it's coming back on episode 9, right?
Starting episode 9.
Okay, so tell me what you felt.
Actually, it's got I think it's all the way up from episode 9, 10, 11, 12. I think it's like 4 more new episodes.
Right.
I don't know how many it's gonna go up to, but I watched 4 of them. You know what I mean?
So what you think? Like, because I haven't got to see it, y'all. So my husband about to tell us, because he's great at telling details. So when it comes back on, what's going on with Ruth and Tyrone? What's his name? Dikahn, River.
Yeah. Now, I can tell you, right? But I'll spoil it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so guys, check this out. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We want to just notch it up with the episode coming through, because this is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't watched it, me, sickly, I'm going to go watch it still, but
I'll tell you what. I'll spoil it a little bit. It's not going to be entirely. I'll say about the
juicy details,
the big loaded punches. What I'll do is I'll set it up. So
okay, so coming back, what had happened?
Alright, so I guess taking off from 8 or whatever.
Yeah, come to 9.
The last episode, I guess the big deal was Ruth, and she was getting an ultrasound of the baby
for River,
and Martha. Yeah, River had, you know what I mean,
hated.
He done set the whole thing up, put it in motion. You know what I mean? You had Martha, you know, she went and got the ultrasound and all. You know what I'm saying? And then they had it to her stomach, checking for the baby, right? And that's when it went off. When she was like, "What?" And they all looked at her like, "What?" You know what I mean? And that's how the last episode 8. You know what I mean? Not last season, because it's still the same season.
Well, episode 8 had left, which was partial.
That was the cliffhanger. Was what did she hear during the ultrasound? Pretty much. Yeah,
because we had found out earlier in the early seasons that Ruth the whole time was just playing games.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all. I mean, that was already
understood
information
to the audience.
Mm-hmm. We already knew, because we already know Ruth's scheme. We already know she ain't down with the Raku. They just, they just playing a part.
Exactly.
They just, you know what I mean? Smoke screen. And so now the jig is finally up. You know what I mean? The jig is finally up, and they got her there. And they like, all right, we want to listen. You know, because she did the pregnancy test. You know, she was able to pass that. You know what I mean? Just like how people do when they gotta go take a drug test. You go, you do. You know what I mean? She was able. What she do? I think she drank like soda or something.
Yeah, it messed up the test. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was. They couldn't catch her on that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, Martha. You know what I mean? She's so determined to catch her.
Supreme Mother.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Whatever she is.
She's so thirsty to catch her. She's like, "No, we gonna get an ultrasound." You know what I mean? No, I think that was River's idea though, right? The ultrasound. You know what I mean? He put all that in motion. But so then, all right. So they come back, episode 9. Boom, they all in there, and Ruth, she is like, she about to on herself.
She gonna pass
she's so nervous. She like, they about to find out that I ain't really pregnant. It's a wrap for me.
And she already had lied to Tyrone.
She in the room
before.
She in the room with Tyrone, aka the highest, Rivers, obviously, Martha, and Obadiah. all of them in the room standing over it.
This is crazy. In a cult.
Yeah, so now she's like, oh shit, I'm about to die. They gonna find out, you know what I mean, that I ain't pregnant. But then, you know what I'm saying, Marva, she did the ultrasound, and she heard a beat down here. You know, she heard a heartbeat. So she was sitting there like, everybody looking at her, the eyes looking at her like, what's up? Like, why are you so nervous for?
Right.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
And they all looking at her, Obadiah and them, of course, they looking at her like, because ain't none of them believed her to begin with.
And remember, I know, and then the crazy part about her is she actually told the highest on last, before the break came of the season, she said, I believe in the beginning of the season 5, that her son said something to Tyrone, remember? Yeah, the Tyrone was like, because remember he had those meetings, and she said, and remember River was mad because River put her daughter at the table and wanted her daughter to eat, and she thought it was going to be poison. So during that time, she had said, her son wanted to say something to the Most High about what to do or something. And then so now everybody mad because they like, we're gonna see if really is a son in there.
You talking about her unborn baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Basically saying that her unborn child wanted to tell, because Tyrone's so crazy.
Yeah, but she was.
He was gonna believe that.
Yeah, she was making all of that.
She made all of that up, right?
You know what I mean? So it just got when she started doing that, it got to the point where they just was like, you know what? Like, no. You know, we about to see. So now they found out that, you know, she really pregnant.
Yeah.
By whom?
Exactly.
With Tyrone?
Because if she's really pregnant, I think it's Dikahn's baby.
She had sex with Dikahn?
Yeah, she had sex with Dikahn.
Oh,
she gave it up.
That's right.
More than one time.
Yeah, she did. Wow. Oh.
So it could be Tyrone's or Dikahn's baby.
Okay.
This is gonna be crazy.
Well, we already spoiled that. So that's
well, you and me, but now since we on video, they don't know because you said you're not gonna spoil it too much for them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. I mean, that's in the very beginning. Everybody know Ruthless is gonna live because
it's called Ruthless.
It's Ruthless. So you know she ain't gonna go out. So that's already telling.
However, but going into episode 9, at least we know that she's pregnant now. So now that's a good cliffhanger for us.
However,
I mean, you know, to find out what might happen.
However, people is gonna die. You know what I mean?
It's a cult.
Yeah, people are gonna die. People who you didn't expect. You know what I mean? Listen, it's Tyler Perry. You know how you give it up. He messy, you know what I mean? Drama, you know what I mean? And then you're gonna see old people come back. You're gonna see Andrew again. You know, he pop out on the scene. You know what I mean? He not doing much right now, but you know, he there. And I can't remember the dude. You know, Zane is there, everybody, and Lacey. You know, Lacey, she gonna be on this episode too. You know what I mean?
But for episode 9, basically, Ruth's baby. Well, we know now that she is pregnant because it's a second heartbeat. Yeah. So she ought to be pregnant. Yeah. And then we know.
The question is, whose baby is it?
Yes.
Is it Tyrone or is it Dikahn?
Call Tyrone.
Well, now you can't even call Dikahn no more. Rivers is the new Dikahn.
So Anthony.
Anthony. Yeah, his name is Anthony.
Is it Anthony's or Tyrone's?
What you talking about, the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's a
good question.
Because they're gonna do a DNA test. And remember, Tyrone always did think that Ruth and the old Dikahn, which is Anthony, that Ruth and Anthony had something going on. Remember?
Yeah. The only time they'll get suspicious about that is after the child is born,
and the child don't look like.
Either the child don't look like don't have any features of Tyrone, or he comes out the same complexion, that would really be telling if he comes out the same complexion of Dikahn.
Because Dikahn is darker than both of them.
Yeah, he's darker. You know what I mean? If he come out his complexion, then that's gonna raise flags.
And if the baby had big eyes and curly hair.
And if he looks like him.
Yeah, curly hair, big eyes, and real dark.
Well, but yeah, man, you know, like I said, it's Tyler Perry. So Tyler Perry, you know, he thrives on mess and
Messy
drama.
Bessie.
Mess and drama. You know what I mean? He thrives off of that. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, man. You know what I mean? It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, y'all. So, I mean, that was episode 9, and the fun part about this whole situation is that we got so many episodes coming back up, but I had to do this because my husband listen, y'all gonna get to know him more when he be talking about these episodes. He is actually a great storyteller, and he's also a writer, so his storytelling be on point. That's all I gotta say. So when he look at something, it's like he's looking in the director's chair. Okay, he actually made the whole. That's how you have to when you listen to him, because he's gonna tell you points that you might miss if you're not like a good writer or something. So with him, he knows what he's doing. You know, when he's talking about this, and I'm so happy that I was able to get him to spend some time over here. Do you think episode 9 that's a wrap, basically, from what you're saying? Nothing else happened in episode 9?
Yeah, a lot happens in episode 9. It hops off in episode 9.
But you trying to keep it from...
I mean, I told you, some people get killed.
Okay, so that's what we're going to leave it at. Some people going to get killed, y'all.
And, you know what I mean? Now, another thing, too, this ain't a spoiler, but this is how the season pretty much has started off with the feds at their door trying to get in. So the feds are still trying to get in there, and you know what I mean. They still outside and trying to figure out. And you know, since Rivers became the new Dikahn, right? That he also got the phone.
Oh.
So, yeah, you know, that's not spoiling it, but that's pretty.
Yeah, so River got the phone now because the old Dikahn used to have the phone.
Yeah, so now he got the phone. He communicating back and forth with the feds.
Yeah, so whatever they know because of him.
And you know how Rivers is.
Yeah, Rivers is backstabbing.
Yeah, so he gonna make it work according to his advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? He don't want to get out of there too. Now, that's just matter of fact, that's just episode 9. Because there's other stuff happening next.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I mean,
what?
It's so much.
We also during this season.
Okay.
We also going to learn more about Obadiah. Right, that's the guy who
with the kufi on.
With the what's like burgundy.
Yeah.
Burgundy. You know, Obadiah with the coupe, and he walking around with an axe. He always got an axe on his
yeah, that's crazy.
On his hip. You know what I'm saying? And we this season we're going to learn more about him and a little history, background, whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Tyrone, you know, he gonna start because the feds is outside. You know, they blocked them from going out to the city and getting more, you know, supplies. You know, medicine, food. You know what I mean? You know, Tyrone, he be on his psych meds. You know what I mean? So now he's not on his meds, and you know, Martha's no longer there to like spike his food up. I'm not saying no longer there, but she got kicked out the kitchen.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, Ruth. You know, she's gonna try to get her back in there because without his meds, he's gonna start waking out. You gonna see?
Yeah, and he has these psychotic breaks.
Yeah, so that you know you gonna see that, but yeah, man, you know, it hops off. You know what I mean?
It's off the chain. And guys, if y'all have not seen Ruthless, I would not mind. I don't know how my husband will feel from like season 1. season 1, all those episodes, season 2, season 3, season 4. But you never may know. Maybe we'll do a throwback moment where we can talk about like the beginning of Ruthless from season 1 up until now. That would be something creative. If y'all have not seen Ruthless, y'all need to see it. It is realistically, I mean, yeah, it is some stuff in there that's cray, but it's for mature folks.
It's entertaining.
And it's entertaining too, but it actually can be a little bit realistic because it's a lot of cult behavior that's real in there.
If you haven't seen it, it's definitely binge worthy. Right? You can just go.
If you haven't seen it, it's definitely binge worthy. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm not gonna say that it's fantasy. This is a lot was taken from Dr. York. And also from Nature Boy. They have some stuff in here that Nature Boy was doing. And a lot of cults has really existed. And Ruthless actually does bring attention to it. So if y'all want to see something that's not just entertaining, but also that's realistic, y'all should look at it. It depends on how you feel in your spirit. But like I said, season 1, 2, 3, 4. And the beginning of season 5, if you guys want my husband and me to do some dialogue on it, we can bring it to y'all because, like I said, it's a lot of juiciness in it. Yep. So we'll be back, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.